Now, in case there's any confusion between the men and boys chalk and cheese illegal and legal, well, this is totally illegal. Plastered over the this is totally legal, not wanted, tagging, whatever else you want to call it. And this is sadly a common scene around here. So not wanted, and they've also done the shutters here and the side of the pub here. Not wanted, and even the shutters, like I say, at night are desecrated by thuggish behaviour, which does actually bring the air down. So just to say, any confusion, that's not wanted. You see it's on the walls here, on the railway parapets there, and down here. And around here, you can see further examples. Now, as you can imagine, health and safety will have a field day in writing reports before anybody can go up there legally. But they've gone up there probably without consideration. They probably couldn't care if they do fall off. You see, street furniture does get attacked. So that is illegal matter. Doesn't say nothing, doesn't mean anything. There's no quality to it. It's in the wrong place. All the reasons why it should not happen. There's no excuse for it either. They've got plenty of other entertainments, as my grandmother always pointed out. So much more than people had, what, 50 years ago? Even 20 years ago. Even probably 10 years ago. So, and this is at just by Lower Marsh here. You see they do desecrate private property, which is quite a bad. Just shows perhaps some people say it's the upbringing, some people say the schools don't teach values enough now, but certainly it's in the wrong place. It's probably why there's more legal graffiti areas now. You can see the problems. Now, looking down through towards Water Road there. Now, the illegal graffiti, which seems to be in quite wide number around here, or multiplication flats I should say. This shouldn't be here. This is all on private property, probably owned by the railways, very close to the railway there, and it's not wanted. It destructs street furniture, perhaps the old walls here and the image of the area, so it's not wanted. Like I say, there is a legal graffiti area not close, not far away. Not too far, so anybody who is a budding artist wants to put in some form of quality or a nice mural, there is a chance to do that legally, rather than another piece here on the top Spur Road here. Look, on the wall there. Now, totally the wrong place, private property, and also it's quite unsightly. But here we are, this is all part of the Perth Bank here, Waterloo. Now we have this lady, she's got a nice little flower cabin here. But she's written a few things up here to make it look a bit like artwork here. Other thugs have come along here, typical, and they've put illegal graffiti on here. So here's another illegal example. You can see she got her flowers on there, but it's been strawed over. So not required. Made it look quite rough here, but she's tried to make a little bit of effort for a small business here, which is very tough. Probably even more tougher in London. So there we are, it's an example of illegal graffiti. Another thing is these billboards and signs, which don't mean anything, are usually quite controversial as well on all the signs. But here we are on a side street, happen to be Hatfields. Now, just looking around here, looking for the illegal graffiti, looks like some rather horrendous tags here with perhaps a broken window there, whatever has happened there. Now I don't know why it's happened, who's done it, why it's happened. As you can tell, further remnants here and on the wall here. Now it's all totally illegal, tags, no quality to it. So separating the wheat from the chaff, men and boys talk and cheese, that is a total load of nonsense. Now there is, had anybody looked at my previous video, a legal graffiti wall around here, which would be looking at some reasonable murals. So there we are, but the rest of it is just tagging. It's not required. The council do spend a lot of money trying to clear it all up, And certainly it's a thankless task, because sadly it usually ends up coming back within a month or two, even less. Now you can see this wall's had a problem here with heinous illegal graffiti, and they've actually tried to take it off, but you can still see the stains of it, remnants of what was here, including just along here. This area does have a lot of problems with graffiti. Some say it's an inner city problem, some say it's a big city problem. But certainly you can see the shop up here. It's all been scrawled over. Shutters seem to be a victim, as you can see around here, rather shoddy, and of course in the wrong place. It looks like it should well have been moved a long time ago. But this is sometimes what you expect in a big city, and you do see some repeating tags. One there, which you can see in various places, which they seem to go around to show the mates, or show off to the mates, which is of no logical standard at all, or certainly doesn't do anything for the community. Well, here we are. Little open area for seating, perhaps in the summer, for people at work coming out for a cup of coffee or a cigarette, or perhaps people walking past this area. But sadly, the areas, especially in the big cities, do end up having problems with vandals. So any form of vandalism, whether it be destroying plants, graffiti, general thuggery, is not required. So that wall's been cleared, as you can well tell. You see the street furniture has had some scrawling there. Now it is not the right place to do it. There is legal areas around here, so it doesn't need to be done illegally, destroying property. And it's not a case of just painting it over, because certainly, as you can see the wall there, you don't just paint over that. That needs to be professionally removed, and it's destroyed the side of the house there in terms of the amount of effort that will take to get that off. Same as this wall, they've tried to get it off and they can't actually get it off. Now, if you've seen my previous video, you'll see the legal graffiti wall. If you want to subscribe to see a plethora of various areas, this is not a subject I normally talk about in terms of social problems. I don't go into details about vandalism. I try to talk about more positive vibes, but this is a major problem, and sadly it does put people off coming to areas, and certainly these young people, if it's young people, can actually put their talents into something far more worthwhile, like picking up litter or offering to do a mural in a community centre. There we are, some more illegal works there. Of course, it's not really works, it's more thuggery. Anyway, if you'd like to subscribe, do subscribe and see some other material. This is an example of some of the problems in London, but it's not just London, it's other places as well. London just seem to have perhaps more of a problem than other places, where people are just going around tagging these illegal tags just so as the mates know where they've been. Just like this here, it's totally unnecessary. Better to do something good in society, be noticed for that, rather than destroying things and getting yourself a bad name and creating a bad name for everybody else. Well, that's Danvers Street down there, down to Coin Street here. Well, there we are. Now we're at this bus stop here. Now I know there's a scrawl on this bus stop. Now you need to pick on bus stops. I'm sure London Transport don't want the bill, nor do the fare-paying passengers. People here, mind you, needs clearing up, as you can tell. Well, this is Danvers Street, quite close to Waterloo down there. That's Coin Street there. Quite confusing, because the bus stop's actually taking the name of the nearby street, which is that says Coin Street. This is Danvers Street going all the way down there. We're down towards Blackfriars Bridge here. This is Coin Street as well, it goes right across here. Now, it's always one I wanted to know if you can get through some of these streets. There's a mural up there. It's slightly more professional than anything illegal. You might have seen on bus stops and things. Context and memory play power roles in all the truly great meals in one's life. Anthony Bourdain, 1956 to 2018. There we are. A big mural tribute on the wall there. Epitaph. Now, just a quick one to see if I can get out down here. Now, this area was very heavily bombed in the war. Saw a lot of destruction and desecration. That's the other thing, of course, which, talking about illegal graffiti as opposed to legal graffiti and murals where perhaps they're permitted, scraping initials into walls. Now, I don't think this goes back to Napoleonic Wars or any other time. I think it's probably totally illegal. More recent thugs just passing in the night, but certainly not required, not nice, and it's total impure vandalism. So, like leaving litter lying around. If you can do it, make your mark on the community, pick up litter, do something worthwhile. Perhaps some volunteer to do a mural somewhere. Well, continuing the theme with illegal graffiti. Now, this is on a wall of a complex of flats here. Even worse, some of the elderly here might find it quite disgusting, disgraceful, and perhaps a bit scary, shall we say? See graffiti on the walls, perhaps happening at night, wondering what's happening at night. Now, this was all cleared, I do know. They did visit a couple of months ago, it was all cleared off here. Certainly the majority of it. I think it's probably council workmen. Now, it's come back, unfortunately. Now, this is general thuggery. It's not legal, it's totally illegal. It's not wanted, there's no real standards for it. Or, of course, you might say, well, why didn't they do it at League Arches? No more than about, what, quarter to half a mile from here? Where they could have done it in the right place and wouldn't have offended anybody. So there we go. So there's a big question for these people. Question their conscience. In the wrong place. And it does cost a lot of money to clear up. It is not something you can just paint over. Of course, I mean, you just can't paint over walls because certainly it's not always on a white wall anyway. Or, look, you can see the brickwork there. You can see the has to be cleared off properly, professionally, and it costs a lot of money. So anybody who's ignorant enough to say it should just be painted over, it's absolutely nonsense. And absolutely, it shouldn't be there anyway. It doesn't look nice, very nice. It's not in a place where people can see any good artwork, so that's a lesson there. Just like on here, you do see it in different places for absolutely no reason, with no quality to it. Take note, please.